Hi guys.
There
All
we
right.
go.
We had a little technical difficulty there. How's it going, everybody?
Sorry, gang, about that.
Yes.
Late
Something's wrong, but we're all good now.
Yes.
We went with plan
It's been fixed.
B. Yes.
We're good. We're live.
We had to get our masks. That's what we had to do. That's why.
Just in case.
Should we do the... Hi, Miss Pinto. How are you? Good to see you. Oh, my glasses fogged up. Anyhow, John and I were not together last Wednesday, and I did the Filipino edition of immigration questions, and that was super fun. Got a lot of great feedback, a lot of Q&A, and if you all know anyone who has specifically immigration issues and they are Filipino, there are definitely some distinct issues there. Please tell them to check that video out. I think it was helpful for a lot of people, and a lot of people reached out to us, so it was awesome. So please direct them to that video if you know of anyone. We really appreciate it. Again, we really appreciate your support. Look, Miss Alexandra is here. I see her in the morning. I see her at 6:30. No, it's 6 o'clock. Thanks for joining. Thanks, Ms. Mitzi, also for joining, and everyone. So if you all have any questions, please go ahead and type them in. We'll try to grab them as you type them in, and make sure that we try to get to them and answer them. So
yep. So that's one thing we're going to do tonight. We're also going to hit some of the things that we've been going over, and we're going to hit them again. We're going to talk about. We're going to start out with the Virginia courts updates. I'm going to bring you up to date on what's going on with the state courts, at least in Virginia Beach and in Norfolk. Most of the other area courts are very similar, but you want to check. We're going to get a USCIS update, find out what's going on over at their office. We, of course, are going to talk about Governor Northam's mandatory mask order that I'm sure all of you have been talking about.
We have the props. That's what we
right.
have. That's why we've got... Oh, but they can't see my red, white, and blue, though. I'm wearing a red shirt.
Yes.
John's matching with kind of a reddish, pinkish.
Yeah, reddish, pinkish. We are going to also talk about the new restricted travel from Brazil, as well as our own COVID-19 office policies that we're going to have at Gardner and Mendoza as we start to see some clients in office again. And we'll talk about our second office location in Newport News very briefly at the end. And of course, all throughout, your questions. If you have any question about immigration law, about traffic law, criminal law, Governor Northam's orders, just go ahead and post it to us right now, and we will answer it.
Yes, let's rock and roll. So Yasir says, are you taking questions about filing unemployment too? Go ahead and ask the question. If we don't have the answer to that question, then we'll be able to direct you and try to get the answer for you. So go ahead and shoot your question out. And because this is actually what Ask Us Anything, right? So it's all fair game.
Yeah, and any question that we're not able to answer just off the cuff here, we absolutely will get an answer and get it to you. All right, that's our promise. All righty? So,
well, that's a big promise.
Yeah, well, we can deliver.
You're right. Give me a high five.
Okay.
All right.
So here we go. I'm going to start out by updating what's going on with the courts. For those of you who have any traffic or criminal cases coming up. So here's where we are as of today. In Virginia Beach, okay, this is just the Virginia Beach courthouse. This is not Norfolk or Chesapeake or Newport News for now. We're just talking about Virginia Beach. Criminal cases that are in courtroom 1 and courtroom 2. Anyone who knows anything about the criminal court, those are the two criminal courtrooms on the second floor. All right. And traffic cases in courtroom C, okay? Those cases are taking place as currently scheduled, okay? If you happen to know, it's not a good thing if you know it, but if you may know that traffic courtroom C is where the DUI cases basically take place. So if you have a criminal case or DUI, if you're in criminal courtroom 1 or 2 or traffic courtroom C, those cases are going forward as currently scheduled, all right? Note, only those persons directly involved in the cases as parties, witnesses, or attorneys will be permitted in the courtrooms. Other people can go into the courthouse, but if to go into the courtroom, you're gonna have to be either an attorney, the defendant, or a witness in the case, okay? And also, as of today, attorneys must wear a face mask, all right? All others are still only strongly encouraged to wear a face covering, but attorneys have to wear them, all right?
So, are we going to get to that later about the...
It's all developing. I know where you're going with that. The court is setting its rule. I'll leave it at that.
Do we think that they'll maybe change that after the announcement of Governor Northam's?
It's very updated, so I don't know.
Very updated.
I think right now that's where we are, okay?
Okay.
Secondly, all cases that are set in traffic courtrooms A and B, so those are going to be all your speeding tickets, no operator's license, suspended operator's license, reckless driving, all that stuff. Those cases, anything that's scheduled to be heard on or before June 5th is getting continued. So if you have one of those cases coming up between now and June 5th, that is going to get continued. You'll just have to keep updating, going to the court website or contacting your attorney, or if you're a client of ours, contacting us, of course, and we'll let you know. We're monitoring this every day, so if you're one of our clients, obviously we're going to get back to you and let you know as soon as we have a new court date. Things are getting pushed out pretty far. Right now, I'm getting continuances mostly now into September for cases that are coming up right now. So if you have a case coming up in the next few weeks, and it's one of those cases, it's probably going to be August, September, maybe even October. I had one go to October 5th already. All right?
You didn't schedule that on our anniversary date, did you?
October 5th. No.
Okay.
No.
Was the weekend?
Yeah, for a second there.
All right.
So that's Virginia Beach. If you have a case in the Norfolk General District Court, all traffic and criminal cases there that are set to be heard on or before June 10th are getting continued automatically, okay? So Virginia Beach is doing a little bit. Norfolk is still having a more strict lockdown. Anything between now and June 10th is getting continued. I say this every week. I'll say it again this week. If you have a case, even though I'm telling you this is the update, please check with your attorney if you have any questions about whether the case is going forward or not. If for some reason you don't have an attorney or your attorney is not answering your phone calls, let me know and I will find out what the status is for your case for you, okay? There are exceptions in both of these courts, all right? And that would include arraignments, bond hearings, bond appeals, requests for emergency protective orders, determination of counsel hearings, and some guilty pleas where the defendants are in custody. So if you have any of those kind of issues, those are going forward. If you feel like you need an emergency protective order because of something going on in your home, please don't not do it because you think the court is closed. For those things, the court is open. Okay? So that is the update with regard to the state courts. How about USCIS?
Well, before we do that, I'm going to take Yassir's question. He has left his job, no reason, just didn't want to do the job anymore. Now he's unable to find another one. His question is, can he file for unemployment? Accountant says a notice will be sent to past employer, but he does not want that because it was all his fault. He just wanted to leave the job. So we've done some unemployment stuff. Do you have any insight on that? I mean, I don't have an answer for you, Yassir, that I'm going to be firm and standing on. And I don't know if John does all of the human resources stuff.
Yeah,
and we've dealt with the Unemployment Commission before. So
I am going to need a little bit more information to get an accurate answer for you. So I'm going to ask you to send me an email. My email is jcg@gmlaw.net. Okay? Again, jcg@gmlaw.net. Shoot me an email and we can continue this conversation. Okay?
Yes, and if you want to just send it through Messenger, then you can also do that as well. Yes, here through our Gardner Mendoza Messenger page. You can also find me at Radlyn Mendoza if you want to send it those different ways. And you can also call our office. So, we can write it down. Whoever wants our email addresses written down, go ahead and type that out. And of course, there's also Messenger, and this one's mine. Thanks for the love, guys. Thanks for being here. I'm happy happy to be sitting next to my husband. Last time he was on the Zoom tile, and my throat was dry. Now John gets to talk.
That's right.
So I told him, I was like, "You're doing the whole thing tonight." But
and
anyhow,
it's almost June.
It's almost June.
Can
Yeah,
you believe it?
it's
almost June.
It's incredible. It's May 27th, right?
Yes. May 27th.
Unbelievable.
Okay,
Time
so
flies.
tell us about USCIS. What's the deal over there?
I thought you were doing USCIS updates. Okay, USCIS updates. Pretty much the same thing as a couple of weeks ago. They are planning on opening back by June the 4th, and that's all systems go. I know from inside information that they are going to do interviews starting on, I believe it's June 15th. I think that's the Monday. So we are having a meeting with the field office director. It's a, sort of a virtual meeting. We've asked our questions, and we're gonna get a lot more information there. But we just got an email update from USCIS, and it looks like it's gonna be all systems go. I don't think that they're going to delay it anymore. So what's going to happen is that, as with the courts, the attorneys everyone who goes into that federal building, everyone who goes into USCIS has to be masked. And if you don't have one, then I believe one will be provided for you. And of course, all of the common sense things is, if you're not feeling well, then please reschedule your interview. You're not going to get penalized for rescheduling your interview. The asylum hearings are going to be a little bit different in Arlington. They're going to, from what I understand, they're going to have the asylum officer doing a video conference, and the applicant is actually going to be in another room in the same building, and then the attorney is going to be on some sort of phone system. And so they really want to try to keep the social distancing and the 6 feet apart. So those things are, I'm sure, all worked out by now. We have not gotten any reschedule notices yet from USCIS. We're waiting for them to come through. I'm sure they're all going to come at the same time, just like those descheduling notices came in all at the same time. And so we're still waiting in our office. We have not gotten any yet. This is another thing that's kind of exciting, because I know there are a lot of people out there, and our clients included, who are waiting to swear in to become U.S. citizens. A bunch of people got their swearing in notices only to have them, taken back and taken off of the schedule. And that's just the worst thing in the world, because it's the very final step to becoming a U.S. citizen. Just so you all know, when you take that test and you pass the test and you do all that with your interview, you do have to take that final step in order to become a U.S. citizen, and that is taking the oath and doing that process. So the good news is they're going to try to get those done as quickly as possible. I know that there are at least 1,500 people in Hampton Roads area waiting to get sworn in to become U.S. citizens. That's amazing. There's so many people. It's awesome. So I'm glad that those are getting pushed forward. And the bad news about that is there's not going to be a ceremony as we know it, or for those who have been to swearing in ceremonies. There's a lot of celebration. There are videos sometimes if they're at the USCIS offices. There is sometimes a speaker. I've spoken a couple of times. It's the highlight of my career of speaking at a naturalization ceremony. They're not going to have that. They're going to send you links to videos. And we're working on a top secret. It's not top secret, but we're working on an exciting project right now. And more to come on that. But I will say that as a person who has spoken at naturalization ceremonies and have just been touched by the whole process, I feel a little sad that there's not going to be that ceremony. So we're working on putting together a video of just very short motivational speeches from immigrants around the country who have naturalized. So we're working on that right now, and that's going to be a fun project. So let me check out these questions that we've got here.
Yeah, there was one about when the consulates are going to be reopening. That was the first one.
Miss Teresa, well, hello everyone who has joined us. Miss Teresa, I'm so sorry I don't have the answer to that question with regard to when the consulates are going to open. I think it's kind of a day-by-day, play-by-ear. I think that because USCIS offices are opening, things might start to begin to open across the world, but maybe not. I mean, depends on I believe you're from Canada, and so I think that it's going to be country dependent with regard to how quickly they are going to open. So I don't have a solid answer for you on that. Yes, Deanna says, any idea when consulates will reopen? Not sure how much info you have on them. My husband needs to renew his passport in the next month. There is a different way to renew your passport. Well, yeah, they're probably closed in DC too. so if he has to renew his passport, then he's going to have to do it at his country's embassy, and those are also probably closed or very limited services. So he's going to have to wait. I have a better idea for your husband, Yana. I think he should apply for citizenship. How about that? Thumbs up? Can I get a thumbs up, Yana, that he's going to apply for citizenship? So yeah, it's kind of a bummer. I wish I had the crystal ball with regard to when the consulates are opening. We have clients who are stuck, who are waiting for their interview. We have couples. It's a sad situation, and unfortunately I don't have the answer as to when they're going to open. We just have to, and I'm sure you guys hate this word, have to be patient. We have to be patient. Everything is still changing. Everything, we're all still not on firm ground. I mean, look, we have to start wearing masks soon. John's going to talk about that later. Everywhere.
Some questions just unfortunately don't have easy answers, like which side of Niagara Falls is nicer, the U.S. side or the Canadian side. It's an ongoing
I feel
debate.
like that's pretty solid that it's the Canadian side. But I've only been once, and it was practically a drive-through. So, yes. Teresa says she needs her green card interview rescheduled, and how much longer they're going to be closed. That is the $1 million question. I know you're waiting. I know your situation, and I'm not going to tell you to be patient because you might reach across Facebook Live and punch me if I say that again. But I don't have the answer, unfortunately, as to when it's going to reopen and when you can do that last part of your process. Let's see if we have any questions here. Yes, U.S. citizenship. Let's do that. That's open. Filing for U.S. citizenship is open. Did I tell you guys that? You can file for U.S. citizenship right now. Absolutely. So you can still continue to do that. Let me see if I have any other updates. I think that I covered that. Oh, so the funny thing about the update that we got via email today is that if you want to, you can bring your own blue or black pen to USCIS, your USCIS interview, so you don't have to use theirs. I think that's a good idea, right? Stops the spreading of germs somewhat with the pen.
It's not as intense as the mask thing, but yeah.
We all have to wear masks. We all have to wear masks at the immigration interview. And I don't know how the social distancing is going to work with the attorney and the client. We're typically sitting about this close together not this close, but pretty close in an immigration officer's office. So I'm sure they're gonna work things out. We will have more about that on June the 4th when we have our field office director meeting. I'm super excited about that. We will report back as soon as we get back from that meeting. So those are all the USCIS updates that I have right now.
Okay.
You're next.
I am. So we're all, the masks are what everybody's talking about. Strange times indeed. And there's a lot on the news, and I'm sure you all have been following some of it, but I thought we would just go straight to the source. It's Executive Order number 63, if you can see that there. And I'm not going to read...
John is still not paperless. He loves paper. I do too, I have paper.
No, I misunderstood. I thought paperless was when you put it in the recycling bin when you were done with it. I'm just kidding.
Shredding. You shred stuff. And recycle, yeah.
So I'm not going to read every single word of this, but I did want to just go straight to the source and let you know what some of this is. Okay, so basically, the face coverings like this, the masks that are required, basically what the order says is that basically everyone in the Commonwealth who's age 10 and over, okay, so if you're 10 years old or older, shall, when entering, exiting, traveling through, and spending time inside the settings listed below, will have to cover their mouth and nose with a face covering, okay, a face mask. So these are the things described below. Personal care and personal grooming businesses, including but not limited to beauty salons, barbershops, spas, massage centers, tanning salons, tattoo shops, and any other location where personal care or personal grooming services are provided. So if you head up to Dupre's salon,
Dupre's got a haircut, it's looking good.
They're great over there.
John's got a haircut too.
This is really short. If you head up there, you're going to see everybody wearing a mask, all right? Everybody that works there, and you need to have one going in there now. All brick and mortar retail businesses, including both essential and non-essential brick and mortar retail businesses. I'm not going to go through all the details of what's essential, what's not. If you want a list to look through yourself, that is amended executive order number 61, okay? Food and beverage establishments, including but not limited to restaurants, dining establishments, food courts, breweries, microbreweries, distilleries, wineries, tasting rooms, and farmers markets when they're permitted to reopen for indoor dining, okay? So right now they're just doing the outside thing, but when they return to indoor dining, you're gonna have to have a mask to go in there, and they're gonna have to have masks in there as well. Entertainment and recreation businesses, including but not limited to racetracks, horse race facilities, theaters, performing arts centers, concert venues. This one goes on at length, but these are all recreation and entertainment type things, okay? So face coverings will be required in those when you're at those indoors. They also will be required at those when you are outdoors, if a distance of 6 feet from every other person cannot be maintained. So if you're at an entertainment facility that's outside, but it requires that you be closer than 6 feet to someone, then you're gonna have to have a face mask, all right? And this is not a light thing, because like all these other orders, this is a violation, is a class 1 misdemeanor. So if you willfully violate this executive order, the punishment, like all class 1 misdemeanors in Virginia, is a maximum of 12 months in jail, a $2,500 fine, or both. Okay. Additionally,
You guys get one of these. Call John. He'll do your case pro bono.
Yeah, I will.
Because this is just the kind of stuff that he likes to do pro bono, right? It's like he likes to make a point. That's a pretty stiff penalty. But I also want to just point out one of our good friends and neighbors, Jill. She said, "Look, don't go into businesses not wearing your mask, causing trouble, because the business can actually get their business license taken away." So for those who are out there and who are disgruntled about the mask wearing, don't take it out on the businesses, because the businesses could get their license taken away. So Jill brought up a really good point, and that's valid, because I get it. You want to protest and you want to show that you're not happy about this, but the business is going to get penalized, and you may as well, but more importantly, just kind of the bigger picture. So,
and those of you who are business owners out there, or if you're just deciding whether to do business with somebody, note that all employees of essential retail businesses listed in Executive Order 61, they are required to have face coverings whenever working in customer-facing areas, okay? So if you have a business, make sure you read up on this to make sure that you're being compliant. And if you're in a business and if you're checking out at the grocery store and the person's not wearing a mask, you should maybe let somebody know that, hey, they're supposed to have a mask on. It's the law right now, okay? Well, it's not. It's an order. So I mentioned that it's a class 1 misdemeanor. There are some exceptions that I wanted to get into really quickly. The requirement to wear a face covering does not apply to the following. And here's where things get pretty loose and vague, okay? You're not required to wear the face covering while eating or drinking, okay?
I eat and drink all the time, so I guess I won't be doing this very often.
You're not required to wear one if you're exercising or using exercise equipment. Any person who has trouble breathing or is unconscious, incapacitated, or otherwise unable to remove the face covering without assistance, that person doesn't have to have one. Any person seeking to communicate with the hearing impaired for which the mouth needs to be visible. So if somebody's trying to read lips with you, you can take your mask off. When temporary removal of the face covering is necessary to secure government or medical services. And here's the one that really opens the door. Persons with health conditions that prohibit wearing a face covering. Nothing in this order shall require the use of a face covering by any person for whom doing so would be contrary to his or her health or safety because of a medical condition. Now, stick with me here. Any person who declines to wear a face covering because of a medical condition shall not be required to produce or carry medical documentation verifying the stated condition, nor shall the person be required to identify the precise underlying medical condition. So,
Shall not.
I'm not going to...
Shall not be
Yeah.
forced to provide that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, let me just say that...
So, okay, go ahead.
You know, I'm not trying to tell people not to wear the mask, but if for whatever reason you're in a situation where you don't have it, say you're like Governor Northam down at the ocean front, and you just didn't...
You said you were going to say that.
You just didn't plan, you forgot it in your car or whatever, then I would say that a good response could be the medical condition, and you're not required to have any documentation for it, and you're not even required to say what the medical condition is. So if you're looking for angles here, all right, not legal advice, just something to think about.
Just advice, but not legal advice. Just like hanging out advice.
That's right.
Hanging out advice.
Hanging out advice.
All
righty.
Okay,
So,
we're going to move on from the mask thing.
do you have any more questions about the mask?
This is pretty controversial.
Okay.
This is a pretty controversial situation we've got going on here. We've got...
Let's move to something that is not controversial, the restricted travel from Brazil.
Okay.
Oh, wait, that's controversial too.
No, so restricted travel from Brazil, basically Trump has added Brazil to the list of countries where there is going to be restrictions on entering. So I had a person reach out to me today and had the opportunity to just pull it up, read do you have it? No, it's actually hanging.
I'm sorry.
I have
I'm
no
sorry.
idea where it is in all of this
I'm sorry.
non-paper, in this paperless pile of paper. But essentially, you cannot come into the United States, and this is where it kind of threw me off if you are an immigrant or a non-immigrant. If you've been in Brazil for the past 14 days, is that correct? Did I catch that correctly? And so someone sent me a message to say, hey, what about if the person is married to a lawful permanent resident or a U.S. citizen? And what if the person has an immigrant visa that's already been issued, but they haven't entered the United States yet with that immigrant visa? So I had to look a little bit more closely into that, because those are definitely exceptions, but the language kind of threw me off a little bit, and I'm an immigration lawyer, right? Because it said immigrant and non-immigrant, and when I think immigrant, I think lawful permanent resident of the United States, or one who has been issued an immigrant visa, which you enter into that to become a lawful permanent resident of the United States. So those are the exceptions with regard to that. So if you have any questions, if you've got a family member or friend who's trying to enter the United States who is from Brazil, shoot me a message if you think, hey, maybe this person can't come in due to this this order and banning that person. But there are exceptions, and again, I had to kind of do a double take on that to clarify, but they are able to come if they fall under that exception of spouse or spouse of U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident or a lawful permanent resident. And I would say that a person who has been given an I-551 stamp, if you guys have applied for the visa, then you know what I'm talking about. That's proof of lawful permanent residency status in the United States. So from Brazil, y'all need to sit tight if you don't fall under the exceptions. All right. That's it for the Brazil update.
All right, Brazil update is complete. Thank you for that. One thing we wanted to touch on as well is that we have been, during all of this, your safety, our safety, the safety of our team, that's the most important thing to all of us right now. And for that reason, we've been very diligent about being, doing everything that we can virtually. We're doing Zoom meetings, phone calls, trying to keep people away from each other as much as possible, just to try to, do our part. However, as the Commonwealth has moved into, phase 1 of the reopening, we have started some partial reopening of our own. And I want to let you know that we are now seeing clients again in our office. So we have resumed in-office consultations, as well as coming in if you need to drop off a document or something. However, all of this is by appointment only, okay? And also, I really want to emphasize that, we really, really urge you to continue to meet with us via Zoom or by phone call. It works very effectively. It's the exact same service. We're really, really proficient at it. We've been doing it for a long time because we have clients all over the world. So, years before this whole thing happened, we had already been dealing with people virtually. So this is nothing new to us, all right? And we strongly urge you to continue that practice. We have a secure Dropbox if you need to drop off documents. We can do everything through phone, through Zoom, through the Dropbox, through email, just as good as we could in person. That said, we understand that some of you just, you're just not feeling the whole virtual thing. I'm 51, I get it. So if you're one of those people...
You're 51 already?
I am.
Wow.
If you're one of those people that you just can't get your head around this whole thing and you just think, what, I just want to come in and meet with you in your office, we understand that, and you can do that now, okay? If you want to call, you can make an appointment, and we will have the ability to see you there, and we are following everything very carefully as well. So if you do come to our office, you can expect that everything will be clean. We're putting big gaps between meetings so that we can wipe everything down. We're wearing masks. We're doing the social distancing, all of those things. So you don't have anything to worry about. If you do want to come in, everything is safe. So I just want to let everyone know that. Okay, do you want to add anything to that?
Steve, how old is Radlyn? Old enough to know better to answer that question, Steve. Well, I just wanted to say that we do miss seeing our clients in the office, and it's been a pretty long couple of months, and our office is a very bustling office, and it's kind of a revolving door of people coming in and dropping off documents and appointments, and we are going to get back to that one day. That day is not right now, unfortunately, with all of these restrictions that are still in place, and just the top priority is the health and safety of you all, the health and safety of our team. We want to make sure that everyone is comfortable. So the technology is there, and there are, as John said, there are just a couple of you guys who don't feel comfortable with that. That's totally fine. I mean, Sarah met with someone this week and last week. She said it's a little awkward. I mean, they're sitting 8 feet away and they're sliding documents across the table. And, Sarah had on a mask. The client that came in did not have a mask. And so it works, but honestly, it's even more efficient if we're doing it virtually. It takes less time, and the document transfer is great too. When I hop on a Zoom meeting and I'm able to share my screen and pull up a document and show someone the visa bulletin, which they've got a pending case, they've never seen the visa bulletin before, they don't even know what it is, and then they understand the waiting period. So that's something that I also do in front of our clients with a piece of paper, but for whatever reason, I don't know, highlighting it on the screen and just being able to circle things and whiteboard it was just more visually effective for my client for that one particular Zoom meeting. So we're excited to get back to normal just like everyone else is. Unfortunately, that time is not here, and we are still preferring virtual appointments. Our buddy Steven DeCastro, hey Steve, what's going on? He has firsthand experience with COVID-19, and I'm sure he's from New York, and I'm sure he would agree that the time is probably not now to just have that revolving door that we do know and love at Gardner Mendoza, and we just have to ask that every single thing be by appointment only. And I know that is not the way of our clients. I mean, our clients drop in, they bring us food, they drop in, they bring us documents, they drop in, they make a payment. Not a problem, but we just have to try as hard as we can to keep the social distancing and by appointment only.
Documents can all be scanned now. With DocuSign, we can even obtain all the signatures that we need for things virtually. So that still, for now, is our preference, and I'm with Radlyn. We are certainly looking forward to a time when our big, warm community is all back together with our office, being home base for it all. That's something we look forward to, but we're not quite there yet. So for now, let's just all be patient and do what we can. All right?
Absolutely. So I don't see any other questions. Steve's heckling us again on Facebook Live. He's going to sue us over HIPAA. Yeah, that's one of the problems. People like Steven DeCastro. We really appreciate you guys coming on and joining us on this Facebook Live. Please continue to follow us and like our page. We've got a couple of cool things coming up. We're going to do a Visa Bulletin workshop in the next couple of weeks. Wait to see that. We have just finished a video with bankruptcy attorney Edry Pfeiffer. So she
great
answered information
there.
Yeah, it's awesome. And we're going to put that up once my computer stops acting funny and slow. And that's done and it's ready to go up. So check that out because she answers bankruptcy questions and how it may affect your immigration case with regard to the filing of the new public charge form. So want to remind you all again out there listening who are in Newport News, we do have an office. We're ready to meet you guys in Newport News. The office number there is 693-5532. I still have not memorized that office number.
We're really excited about that.
693-5532. And we will be there pretty soon in the next couple of weeks because we do have some appointments scheduled.
Yeah, I'm really excited about getting up there and, just getting to know the area better.
Absolutely. So let's see. Yeah, sure. Yes, Steve, you can interview us for immigration concerns. Absolutely. We've got you covered, buddy. But thank you guys so much. Have we forgotten anything?
I don't think so. If you guys have any more questions, and the offer we always have, any questions you have, whether it's about immigration law or anything else, if you think that we may know the answer or you think we might be able to find the answer, please let us know, and we will do everything we can to get the answer for you or to at least set you in the right direction.
Yes.
For it. Okay?
Like Yasir's question about unemployment. We know where to send him. We know where to get the answer to that question. And we know other attorneys, of course, since we are lawyers and we hang out with lawyers.
That's right. All right, I think it's masks on and 2 thumbs up, right?
Okay, mask on. All right. Peace out, guys. I can't do 2 thumbs up. Can we do thumbs up?
All right.
That's going to happen sometimes.
Just say it's a health issue. That you don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And you don't have any documentation for it either. All right.
All right, guys. Mask fail. See you guys later. Thank you.
That's an absolute defense, by the way.
Mask fail? Mm-hmm. All right.